Hello everyone, welcome to our DCINS. Today we're also happy to have Francesco from the MetaMask.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And I'm today's host, Viviana. Hi Francesco.
It's a pleasure to be here in this beautiful Singapore.
Yeah, because of introduction to our
Yes,
audience.
Quick introduction. I'm Francesco. I'm part of the DevRel and community team at ConsenSys. So if everybody listening here, ConsenSys is a big umbrella company. You have MetaMask that a lot of you developers, but also users around the world are using. And then you have different other developer tooling, Infura. We have Linea. We just launched on mainnet during ECC, and we're super excited also to show this ZK EVM rollup to everybody, but obviously MetaMask is the way to go. MetaMask is the door for everything Web3. If you wanna, and I hope everybody already kind of know, but for the people out there that doesn't know, you can do a lot of things. It's the gateway, the door to Web3 from if you wanna purchase an NFT, if you wanna do your first DeFi transaction, and it's quite easy to do it. And we're very excited to be here at Token and with so many various cool events here in Singapore.
Yeah, super cool. Welcome to Singapore.
Thank you.
Okay, so for now, our first question is, as for today, Web3 has been striving for mass adoption, and currently the closest possibility to achieving this is MetaMask.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is your perspective on this viewpoint?
Yes, no, of course. So we are seeing probably in the past 4 or 5 years, we saw a lot of users entering in our ecosystem. I'm a big believer in education, and I think we have been doing a lot of education around end users, but also around community developers that want to build and extend the functionality of our ecosystem. And I think I'm coming always back with education because we are running a lot of cool events around, from account abstraction to bootcamp. You can also check out MetaMask Learn. It's also a cool platform around educating and learn what you can do within the MetaMask and the ConsenSys ecosystem. As I mentioned before, this is the door to everything Web3. So from purchasing your first NFT to doing your first DeFi transaction. Also think about you want to send some crypto or some stable and you want to do it easy. You want to on-ramp or off-ramp. There is a lot of things happening in our ecosystem. We are growing, we are educating the community, and we're excited to be in those events that are able to empower all our community and bring more Web2 users, bring the sister, everybody in our community. And this is a strong path that we want to achieve.
Yeah, definitely. There is a saying in Web3 world, the most successful entrepreneur is hackers. So
yes.
Security has always been a crucial concern for the wallets. So as a browser extension wallet, what key security measures has MetaMask implemented?
Yes, of course. So I can talk a little bit around builders and developers in the ecosystem. So we do a lot of education around end users and how to safely manage your secret recovery phrase. And I think this is everything key because a lot of those attacks are actually coming on the other side, the end users. I read back in the days that some reports that were speaking about that more than 80% of hacking were because the users, the people using MetaMask, are actually sharing their private security recovery phrase. And that's why education is key. Now, this is on the user side, but if we are looking at the developer side, enhancing security is a key factor, and we want to also include all the community. That's why we're very supportive and keen to open up and enable this permissionless innovation. As probably yesterday we came out with a new beta on MetaMask snaps. So this is a way that you can extend the functionality of what MetaMask does today, and we're super excited about this. And part of your question is all about security, and one big pillar of those MetaMask snaps is transaction insight. What does it mean? If you install your snaps, your transaction insight snap, the user will be able to further see and on a more transparent way to see what actually the transaction is all about. If you're interacting with malicious contract, if you're interacting with malicious website. And I think we are trying to give more single points to the users out there to see and be aware, to stay secure, but most important, educate them in order to have a more safe journey to Web3.
Yeah, surely it is. Okay, so due to the immutable nature of blockchain data, there can be security and compliance challenges related to user accounts like smart contracts and transaction history. So how does MetaMask address security and privacy issues considering user accounts, smart contracts, and transaction history?
Yeah, so I think this is a great question, right? It's going quite deep. One thing I want to mention is definitely like through Snaps, another world of new feature are being built on top of what MetaMask can do today. And through education and through having users extending this functionality and having more like, let's say, secure and more points to see how the user can be safe, I think is enabling much more like education around our ecosystem. But I think also one other way that I'm trying to also like to bring to educate the user, to educate the builders, is that there are different type of audience, different type of personas in our market. You have like a person that is more into like NFT, you want a more customized journey around NFT. You want to have a person that is more into like DeFi, and you want to have a more personalized wallet around DeFi. And I think this customization will help a lot around onboarding more users, because like we will get more users in our industry, but in the same time we want to also have dedicated journey for the user to onboard into Web3.
Cool. So MetaMask now supports an increasing number of the blockchain networks, and a multi-chain ecosystem means dealing with different protocols and standards. This complex might be transparent to users, but can be challenging for the development teams. So could you share some insights into the technology and the architecture aspects of supporting multiple chains?
Yes, of course. This is actually a great question. And as I mentioned before, yesterday we launched MetaMask Snaps, right? And this is all about bridging and bringing this interoperability around ecosystems. Today, a lot of companies are bringing newer tooling, newer instruments for those users out there in different ecosystems. We are going in the direction that with MetaMask Snaps, you can have, we're calling basically non-EVM compatible snaps, meaning that if you install those snaps like the BTC snap, the Solana snap, the Filecoin snap, you are able to actually seamlessly do transaction around different ecosystem on top of what basically what MetaMask does today. And I think this is a very powerful statement, especially because, as I mentioned before, you have different personalized journey, and maybe people wanna be both in Ethereum and Cosmos ecosystem, and at the same time they wanna do a transaction and be fully interoperable. And I think this is key, because if we wanna really have mass adoption, both end users don't need to know they are driving to different chains, but you need to have this tooling that is able for them to drive in this different ecosystem. And I think this is a very powerful value proposition to onboard the next billion users in our industry.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's talk about Web3. The concept of Web3 is a really quite extensive topic. So what is the ultimate goal for the MetaMask wallet?
Yes.
And what does its final form look like?
Yes. So I think when we're speaking about ConsenSys mission and vision, we are very keen to enabling this permissionless innovation. We want to have a strong, active community, not just giving feedback, but actually contributing and building the next generation product on what MetaMask does today. And I think we are all about permissionless innovation, and we are educating a lot the market. This is one big part. And then the other part is, as I mentioned before, education. Within MetaMask Learn, we launch different initiatives. We also launch a specific ambassador program that is also being able for people to educate and be advocate of our ecosystem. And we need to be prepared to onboard more users in our industry, and I think we are getting ready to it. And I think as you probably know, with the Web3 ecosystem is evolving so fast, and I think without having a strong community, active community, we're not able to do that. So if I need to really resume everything in one phrase, we are all about permissionless innovation.
Yeah, super cool. I think MetaMask is play a very important role in the
Yes.
ecosystem. Yeah. So, what is your perspective on the current state of the Web3 ecosystem, and what do you think are the remaining challenges that need to be addressed?
Yes. So, and it's great that you're asking this, because during the past weeks, both in Korea and Singapore, it's very interesting. A lot of challenges that we see is that different ecosystems are building tooling. They are very focused on their basically islands, right? They are building islands without building this interoperability around. And I think this is a big part where I seeing these challenges, but in the same time, more opportunity are coming up, right? And when we're speaking about MetaMask snaps, it's extremely interesting what is happening right now, enabling this permissionless innovation and activating the community to build feature on top of your product. I think it will bring much more evolution. And I think it's, we are very keen on this, and I think this is a great opportunity. We want to definitely include more and more players around this. And if you are a user, give us feedback. If you're a builder out there, give us feedback. We are very happy to hear much more feedback, and we are very happy to see those features build on top of what MetaMask does today. And and check out what we launched yesterday, snaps. We have a great directory. There are 34 snaps being launched right now, and we will come up with different new type of features.
Yeah, super cool. Time will tell. We will see. Thank you, Francesco, for your time into our things. Okay, so one more question. There is an additional question for you. We want to know more about a new product called the MetaMask snaps.
Yes.
Can you share with us?
Of course. So yesterday we launched MetaMask snaps officially. We were 18 months driving snaps innovation with developers through Flask. It's another version of MetaMask for developers, but we're very happy that we launch snaps on production. What does it mean? We have now 34 snaps being divided through 3 verticals. You have the transaction inside snaps that is basically enhancing the security and educating the users on what is interacting, what website, malicious contract. Then the second pillar is about interoperability. So non-EVM compatible snaps for other chain, like the BTC snap, the Filecoin snap, the Solana snap. They're really cool around. Also on layer 2's Starknet snap. I think this is a cool value proposition for also users that wanna play with Starknet and do transaction out there. And then the third big pillar is about notification and chats. So today, when you're installing your snaps, your notification snap, you are able to getting notification on your machine when you're doing any specific event trigger. And that is very interesting use case, especially for a game that are using dApps every day. So this is about what we launch. Now let's talk a little bit about what will happen next. So we are driving innovation through ecosystem initiatives. We are all the time around hackathons, around those events, to understand what our ecosystem, what community are building. And the next natural phase is seeing much more of those use cases around snaps. We are seeing the community expanding, especially the developer community expanding on account abstraction snaps. We see different use cases around social graph snaps. And I think this is extremely important, also on DeFi application. So I think we will see much more innovation from the community coming in our snaps ecosystem. And I'm very excited about those feedbacks and what the community has to build. So if I need to have only one, redefining one phrase with your question, I will say that we are very keen to see what is happening in the future, and we will expand on different use cases around snaps today.
Thank you for sharing this.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is really an honor to have Francesco coming to these things. Thank you very much.
It's an honor to be here, and so hopefully I see you next year.
See you guys.